Yeah! Welcome to another episode of ArtCo Drone Solutions. I am back in the saddle. Last week I was out flying with Chris Halley of Doc Murdoch. If you guys know of him, he's a very good FPV pilot. Helped me get my 5-inch FPV drone up and running, and I managed to crash it. So it needs some repairs. So let's get this show going. I am going to do a little bit of humor today. So how about some jokes tonight? All right, so have you folks seen some of the flooding in Europe? Especially in the Netherlands. Yes. A lot of leaky dikes. Well, it wasn't her fault. Ellen just drank too many beers. All right, now let's go on to, some more jokes here. Late afternoon, the grandma saw the teacher walking up their driveway. She asked her grandson, "Did you leave school early today?" He hung his head, admitted, "Yes, Grandma." The grandma thought it was hilarious and assured him, saying he would tell the teacher she hadn't seen him all day. "Maybe you should go hide," she suggested. "Oh no, Grandma, you should hide, not me." Surprised, she asked why. The grandson said, "I told the teacher you died." A woman bursts in the doctor's office saying, "Doctor, I'm having a panic attack." The doctor looks at her and says, "Calm down." Have you ever heard of the chicken plant? I guess the eggplant came first. I worked at a grocery store, and a guy in the produce department told me this. Thought it was hilarious. There are 3 kinds of sex. There's homosexual sex for who have sex at home, bisexuals for people who buy sex, and then there's trisexual. That's me. I'll try anything. How do you wake up Lady Gaga? You poke her face. How did the blonde break her leg raking leaves? She fell out of the tree. I may not be a girl, but I'm blonde. I find blonde jokes hilarious. Ranji is a 9-year-old boy living in Namibia. Can you spare just $2? Ranji is a 9-year-old boy living in Namibia. Has only one leg, one arm, and one eye. Each day he has to ride 7 miles to school along a narrow road on a rusty bike with bent wheels, no brakes, and one pedal. So if you send us just $2, we'll send you the video. Alrighty, well, okay. My friend told me this hilarious joke about Parkinson's last night. but I don't want to tell it because I'm a little shaky on the details. And that is all for Jokes in America, or Jokes on ArtCo. So hopefully you found that funny. Yes, yes, Mel, okay. All right. I've got a photo that I saw on Facebook that is pretty funny, that pretty much sums up what the CDC always says. So I'm going to share this. So I'll make. Alrighty. So it looks like I'm going to be solo for a while. I know James from My PI Dream, he'll come in later. Chuck is on vacation up in the tundra, the mountains of New York. Yes, he's up in the Adirondacks. Hey, love their chairs. All right, let's say hello to the folks in the chat. We've got CNY Photo Video, welcome. Novice Quad, John Olson, Mel 400 AGL, Michael Fly Zone Drones. We've got Steve Mack, Jody, Drone Shots, and then we have Drone Views Media, and then I saw Kevin Adamas, all the way from the Philippines. And then we have Matt Cundiff of Maddie's World. Welcome. Yes, Kevin Adamas Vlogs. Yes, welcome to the show. Magadan Umaga, Kevin. Welcome to the show. Okay. Oh, I will. I forgot to. Here, maybe. Alrighty, I forgot to send a link to Jeff Sills. Maybe he'll come in for a bit, talk to us, and keep us company. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about. I'm going to be talking about FPV crashes and repairs and some of the tools you'll need. And also, I want to remind everybody, next week, I'm giving away this bad boy, a high lucky, what is it? Solar powered battery charger. So if you want to charge up your cell phone, your cameras, your drones, and all that. So hey, let's welcome all the way from Mesquite, Texas. No, Magnolia, Texas. Correction. All the way from Magnolia, Texas, the effervescent Jeff Sills. Howdy, Jeff. Good to see you. I'm doing pretty good.
So how's tricks? I hear you got out and did some FPV flying.
Yes, I did. Last Sunday, I was out flying with Doc Murdoch, and he got my 5-inch working. Got it bound and did a little bit of tweaking on Beta Flight. Then I proceeded to crash it.
Yes, as you do with an FPV drone.
Yes. I flew it a few times, and the last time it got around behind me, and what happened was the video feed went out on me because I think I got a little bit out of range, and so I decided, I better land this thing, and I think I did it a little too hard. So it landed right on the battery. Yes, go ahead, take that phone call.
You're gonna have to hold on for a second. I told you that I'm still working today, so unfortunately I had some of the work alarms that were firing off.
Okay.
So anyway, but no. So with the FPV flying, I know that you said you had a Phantom that you started with, and then you moved up to wasn't it like a Mavic?
Yeah, I had a Mavic Air.
Yeah. You've had quite a few little drones there for a while. What's the current GPS drone that you also have? Is it
I have Mavic Air 2, the Autel Evo, and the original Mavic Air.
I remember the Autel Evo. That was the one that you were gifted after the gentleman decided to land yours in a lake.
That's correct.
Yes. I have not landed in a lake yet. I did learn the same lesson you did about letting the drone get behind your head. The very first crash that I ever had with the Phantom 3, I had let the drone pass behind me. I was watching the video feed and wasn't paying attention and didn't realize that there was still a minute delay. Right. Yep. And so as I thought I was slowing down, I wasn't, and it bounced off a tree. So, yeah, because trees are drones' favorite friends.
Yeah. Yeah. They like to grab drones.
I wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for trees. I just want to let you know that right now. So, yeah. That's the whole reason of existence for me is drone news and trees.
Yeah. So. That's correct.
But, so how are you progressing then with the FPV? I mean, aside from the crash, the times that you did have it in the air, were you getting the feel for it, getting the passion?
Yes. I started off with the Emax Tiny Hawk 2 and got pretty proficient flying. I first started flying it around my apartment, and then I met these guys on Facebook who they have a meetup every Sunday morning at Adams County Fairgrounds. So I took my Tiny Hawk with me and got in a lot of flying time out there.
That's cool. Yeah, I bought a Tiny Hawk to try out FPV. And put the battery in it, got it all charged up, had the little goggles that barely fit my head, walked out in the front yard feeling like a complete and absolute idiot with this teeny tiny drone and these goggles that looked like they were made for my 4-year-old. And stood out in the front yard, turned the drone on, launched it into the air, flew it across the street, slammed into my neighbor's mailbox, then proceeded to skip along the ground until it hit a parked car, and then I was able to finally kind of lollygag it back across the street as it tumbled through my grass. And I went over and I picked it up in complete dejection, turned everything off, went back inside, and pulled out my DJI drone and flew like a champion. So that was the extent of my FPV flying. Plus, I only had one battery, so when you only have one FPV battery, the excitement of FPV flight is, all right, this is great. Oh my God. Okay. I'm done. Because you go through the battery so fast.
They're not very expensive. You could get 4 to 6 of them for about $20.
And I did
eBay.
that. No, I did that. I went to Amazon and I went to the Emax website where I bought my Emax from, and down underneath there, it had suggested batteries. and I bought a 4-pack, and they came, and I put the 4-pack, and I pulled the first battery out. I put them all on the charger, got them all charged up, plugged them into the Emax drone, and nothing. They don't work with the drone. And it doesn't turn on, doesn't beep, doesn't do nothing. I'm like, okay, I like drones that I can pull out of the box, turn them on, and fly. Because it's sort of like the Macintosh way of flight. I'm a person that doesn't really care about all the inner workings. I just like to go out and fly, Yep. And I know that FPV is really appealing to people because of the fact that you can get in and tinker with it. And the little PC tech in me who loves tinkering with computers, I know that passion. I understand it. It's not that I completely am against it. It's just that I got into this because I just wanted to fly. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to mess with anything else. I just wanted to turn it on, go out in the front yard, flip the goggles on, and experience the joy of flying. And DJI gave that to me hands down. I love the DJI drones, and I'm completely satisfied with them. I've always been sort of kind of mildly intrigued with the DJI FPV drone.
Right.
But after watching Ken's video, and of course being a close friend of Ken and hearing the behind the scenes conversations, I kind of guess I'm not going to get a DJI drone. But I think if there was anything that I would fly that's FPV, it would probably be one of those. But I don't see myself buying one. I'm not that passionate about going exceptionally fast as much as the adrenaline junkie inside of me probably would like for me to change my mind. I have crashed several drones, and I have experienced the frustration of not only going through DJI repair, but also repairing drones on my own, which was an exciting adventure. I will say that for the Herrenbird, it was exciting. For the Chris Rollins drone, on the other hand, boy, that was an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, that was a lot of work on that bad boy.
Well, I think the moment that just about put a stamp in my heart was the night that I had the drone powered up for the first time, and the motors came on, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's all functional." This was the first time, and I pulled up the screen, and I'm looking, and all the errors were just stuff that I knew wasn't connected yet, just some sensors, and I was like, "Okay, so it's passing everything that I expected it to pass. So technically it should fly, And so I had the live stream going. I was like, okay, guys, I'm going to turn everything off. I'm going to get this thing set up, and we're going to fly it, And I go over and I set it up in the den, and that little voice in the back of my head told me, you know what? Just test it first before you turn the live stream on, so you don't look like a dork. So I turned the drone back on, and I primed the motors, and as I was trying to lift it off, I got this nice aromatic smell of burning electronics.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Like, that's not supposed to be here. And then I was like, oh crap. And so I immediately turned the battery off, pulled the battery out, lifted up the drone, and just took a nice whiff and realized I melted the drone. Oh. And I had to go back over and put it on the bench and open it up and see what had failed. And I was hoping that it was just the top board that controls the motors, because the bottom board is the main controller board. That's the expensive, that's the juicy board, right? Mm-hmm. And I was praying that it was that top board. So I'm sitting there going over it with a fine-tooth comb, and I can't find a single burn mark. And so I look at the bottom board, and I see that nice little heat bloom, and I was like, no. So I knew at that point that my project was suddenly going to be much more expensive. Yeah. So, but it took us several months. I did have some people that helped contribute to the funds to finally find one of those boards, because you could get a lot of them, but they usually came out of Crash Drones. And obviously you don't want to buy, Crash Drones. So finding a new one for a good price took a little bit of time, but we finally found one, and it was worth the time and the effort, because the end result, with Chris Rollins' drone, is that it flies perfect. It is literally just a perfect drone. And I think the greatest moment for me in that drone was when we were doing the shoot with the Splendora Police Department and we blew up the Phantom. That was the first time that I had ever met Chris Rollins face to face. And I got a chance to take the drone out and hand him back his drone that the last time he saw it, it flew out of his hand and bounced down the street, And so, yeah, that was a great moment. He was kind enough to sign the drone for me. It's cherished drone.
So how's the Favic drone coming along?
The Favic project got put on hold primarily because of the fact that life in general caught up with me harsh.
Yes.
Right about the time that I was planning on working on that project, COVID had a beautiful time of coming into my life at the same time that my employer said, we don't need you anymore. And so the focus for me changed dramatically for the time being. And so slowly but surely, I'm kind of getting things back in a normal mode. And so hopefully I plan on re-attempting the Favic project. I have everything I need to do it. I got the soldering station that I needed. I've watched the videos of people that have built the drone before. I've learned from their mistakes. I've seen some of the shortcuts that they've taken to kind of make the process a little bit easier by pre-wiring or pre-joining some of the wires that you need to do so you don't do it mid-work. I mean, just lots of little knick-knack things. And so I definitely plan on sitting down and doing that, because that drone is interesting to me in the sense that you have a Phantom sized drone that can fold up, right?
Right.
So I'm going to have this overly large Mavic essentially.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing to me right now is coming up with some way of protecting the camera, because if you've never seen the Favic fully built, the camera is really out there. I mean, it's like dangerously out there. And so that's one of the things that I want to talk with some of the people that own 3D printers and see if I can come up with something that I can put around the camera to provide some sort of protection, just to reinforce it, so it's not just dangling out there in space. So, but yeah, no, that's definitely back something that I plan on doing. I have the Jersey Bird, which was Ken Heron's second Phantom 2 or Phantom 4. That's the one that did the spectacular spiral off the building in New Jersey.
Yeah, that's right.
I've got that drone flying, but the camera is non-functional. And from what I've been able to figure out, the camera, the core portion of the camera is severely damaged. So what I want to do with the camera is set up a project, because how many times have we seen people that have crashed their drones and damaged the camera, but the rest of the drone's perfectly fine, right?
Right.
Nobody's ever really done a lot of work on trying to just fix the individual components in the camera. Why not disassemble the camera to its bare components and figure out what broke inside of it and see if I can get those parts?
Right.
So that's the interesting thing that I plan on doing with the Jersey Bird, is making a project of just the camera and just gut it and see what I can do with it. I don't know if I can ever make it work. If I can, great. If not, it flies. That's what I can say for it. So,
Drone Site says donated to Smithsonian.
Oh yes. If we had a drone Smithsonian that I could send.
Oh, there you go.
send one of the great Ken heron birds too, but no, I protect them. The heron birds down here in this orange case that keeps it safe and protected from all of the minions that I have in the house that tend to grab things they shouldn't. So
yeah.
But my youngest son recently got his first drone and has been flying it around the house like a crazed maniac. So, and it's just one of the little toy drones. But at what 6 or 7 years old, he's picked it up. He can fly it around.
Oh,
yeah, he's getting good at it.
If he gets that tiny hawk, he'll be flying the crap out of that.
No, no. I'm fine with the slow little toy drone right now. That's perfectly acceptable.
Okay. Well, one of the things I bought these new batteries that'll work on my little tiny hawk, and the way you know that your battery's charged up is when you plug it into the charger, the light will go on. And then when it's charged up, you'll get a blinking light. So I got one of these that plug that in, and it's got a USB on the back, and it's got this little guy. And
I have one of those little boards with the Emacs, and I plugged the batteries up to it. They were all fully charged. And when you would plug it into the Emacs drone, it would light up. You'd see the lights flicker. But if you tried to charge it to tell it to fly or do any of the normal steps you would do to make the drone function, nothing would happen. If I took those batteries off and put the original battery back on that it came with, charge right up, fly, and I would then start smashing into all sorts of things and scaring the neighbors. So
that is weird. That is really weird.
Don't know. Somebody told me that there's some sort of settings that you're supposed to do in beta flight where you can tune the drone to the batteries or something to that effect. I don't know.
Right.
But like I said, it's there safely in the box, not scaring my neighbors or harming anybody or doing property damage in any way, shape, or form. And I'm fine with that. It's safe. So, but aside from that, no, I know that Ken had his guest on Thursday,
right?
For the Patreon video, they were grilling me about getting into FPV. I mean, they were really laying it on thick, and I was like, if I had an FPV drone that was worth its salt, not some little toy thing like that, right? But if I had something that had some heft to it, some stability, and I had equipment that wasn't something that was so miniaturized that I feel like I'm squeezing my brain cells trying to look through it, then I would probably be interested. But I have so much money invested in the drones that I have right now that taking on the cost of FPV is the other side of the fence that I'm kind of I'm very interested in something here. No, hold that back up again. No, hold that back up. Okay, now I want you to turn the drone so that we can see it in the X form, right? So yeah, hold it up like that now. And I want everybody to pay very close attention to the fact that now that Art has this up, that all of the blades are invisible.
Yeah.
Because you must use like a green screen or something because Yep. Yeah, you held it up a second ago and I was like, wow, that's interesting. You have blades that are colored exactly like that giant tower behind you. So
yeah. I'm going to show you some photos of the board up close.
Okay.
So you could. Alrighty. And I don't know if you can see, but right on top of here, there should be a screw head. I don't know if you can see that, but over here and over here, well, it hit so hard it sheared off the tops of the screws.
Wow, that's an impressive hit.
Yep. And
it's kind of strange though, because you would think that with the legs and the reinforced body and stuff like there, that it would be hard to hit that spot. But that's
well, it came down right on the battery. I think that's what caused. See, now on this picture, you can see there's only one screw holding it all together.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
you're gonna have to rebuild the body, or what your steps for this one?
Well, what I did was I bought some new screws. They should be here, I think, on Monday or maybe tomorrow. And what I'm going to do, and these just came in today, so I've got the appropriate hex screwdrivers.
You know, I'll share something with you. If you have about, I think it's between $40 and $60. I found this on Amazon. Fell in love with this thing. So it's this kit, right? And that's the screwdriver, and the screwdriver is powered, right? Ooh. So it has the on-off switch on there, and you can turn it on. It'll light up, and it turns, and so it's a powered screwdriver, which I thought was really cool. But what the other thing is that they sent it with, if I can knock everything off my desk, this mat. So if you have screws, you just drop them on this. It's magnetic. It immediately holds the screws in place so that you don't lose them. They don't flip all over the place.
Nice.
Then you're sitting there looking at this thing going, well, what the hell's all this crap? Well, so one side is all of one type of screw head, and the other side is the other types of screw heads. And there is nothing for drones and for small projects. There is nothing that this thing doesn't have the tool for in it. I mean, I was blown away by this thing. And I found that on Amazon. I've been using this thing religiously to fix all sorts of stuff around the house that, break little electronics and things. And my uncle came to visit over the summer to drop the kids off. And his comment to me was, next Christmas, instead of sending me some Star Trek thing, give me something useful like that. And I was like, okay.
There you go. And I bought one of these little guys. Well, this is yeah, these are hand. These are star ones. And this is what I used on the Phantom drones.
Okay.
When I used to repair those. Yeah. So I was into repairing the Phantom 3 standards.
Okay.
And yeah, so I learned a lot about those things. Usually you'll see a Phantom 3 standard on eBay that's broken. Maybe one of the landing gear is broken, or the camera. And the most common problem was the there's a little thing that has a pendulum inside the box. The
pendulum.
So that not ESC, but oh god, it starts with anyway. there's a way you can fix those. And what
Okay.
you do is usually what happens when you crash one of these, that little pendulum will get slammed to one side and get stuck.
Yes.
So what you do is you take the handle of a screwdriver and you just tap on it, and what it does is it pops loose and it goes back, and I was able to get it flying. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had several situations with the heron bird and with the Rollins bird where sometimes the fix to things was just giving it a good whack. I mean it amazes me that with these drones as advanced as they are, when you get inside of them and see the thought process that they had on how they managed the boards and how they aligned everything. And they just, the tolerances in some of these things are so tight, so small,
Right.
especially with the Mavics. The Mavics, there is a Chinese technician in China right now, I know full well, that is laughing and giggling knowing that there are people out there that are struggling trying to work on Mavics, because he's an evil person for squeezing all that crap in these little bitty spots. First time I saw a Mavic, I think it wasn't the Mavic Mini, it was the Mavic Air. Yes. I actually was watching a technician work on a Mavic Air, and he opened that thing up and I got a chance to look inside of it. And I was like, no way. No. The Mavic was tight enough as it was. That thing, everything was sandwiched. There was no space. There was no unused space anywhere in that body.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I was like you. I would sit there and browse around eBay looking for, I think the one thing I wanted to build at one point was, what was the little DJI drone? The Spark. That's what it was.
Spark, yeah.
They had a whole bunch of Sparks that got crashed,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I was going through eBay looking at all the different ones that they were selling, just the carcasses,
Right.
no warranty, no promises that it would do anything. Basically, you would just buy it unseen. And I was specifically looking for any that didn't have water damage, right? And of course, you had to be really careful because they'd be like, "Oh no, I'd never been in water." And you look at the pictures, and there's that nice little film of water, down the side of the drone. You're like, "Yeah, right." But there was one time I found a little Spark that it had a broken arm. The camera obviously needed some work, and the body had been scratched up real bad, but everything else looked solid. And this one actually came with like the battery, but no controller or any of that mess.
Right.
And they wanted like $60-$70 for it. And I was like, at the time, I really wanted it, but I didn't have $60 or $70 because I'd always wanted to get one of the little Sparks and work on one of those, because I was always fascinated about how you could fly one of those around without needing the controller, where you could just use hand gestures and stuff. And I always wanted to mess around with that, but I never got a chance to. So
cool. Well, with FPV, these are pretty small boards. Now this is a 5-inch, and they're like 1.5 inch square boards, and it's not just one board, not 2 boards, it's 3 boards, because you've got one board that's the transmitter that sends the message to your receiver so you can control it. And that's the part that you need to bind the craft with. And because of the way it was situated on this drone, it was inside where I couldn't reach at. So when Chris came, and he's got all the parts. I mean, he's got all the tools. He brought his laptop, and we had that apart on my kitchen table, and we found that little little part, and we got it bound because I was pressing the wrong button. And it turns out there's a button on the main board that turns on the SD card so you can record. And so we got it bound, and then he hooked up to Beta Flight on his laptop. And we went in and made sure everything was all set up correctly and tweaked it a little bit. And we were stuck on one problem. And I had mentioned, oh yeah, Mitch, he told me to do this for the Tiny Hawk because I was getting too much, power because, when you just barely touch the throttle and it would hit the ceiling. So he, taught me, he said, do this, do that, and that little dial at the top on the right hand side, that'll, dial it down so that you could get to work without it just going all over the place. So
Yeah,
I mentioned that, and then Chris goes, "Oh, okay," and then we went into it, and we go, "Okay, yeah." He set it to the spot to where it'll work with this. So when I fly the Tiny Hawk, I gotta remember to turn it to one side to kind of dial it down a little bit.
Yeah, I was it. Obviously with FPV, I got to experience it vicariously through Ken as he went down the path of FPV. And I remember the first few FPV drones that he had. He didn't know about dialing them in or setting the different settings, and it was the first couple of drones that he had that, I remember he made a video where they could never get it to fly, and they made another video where they did get it to fly, but they were having all sorts of like alarms from it. Finally he got it to fly, but he went out to the field and it was like way up in the air and then way down to the ground, and what was it, oh God, who was with him? I'm trying to remember. Oh, hang on. The dog. Just a moment.
Hey, Adrian.
Yeah, you have to pardon me. I have a husky that actually talks, so he was letting me know that it was time to go outside. But yeah, no. And when Ken got the cinematic drone, that was when he had his first crash with the cinematic drone, and there was an FPV pilot in the area that he met that now is like a staplehood for him. They are constantly
I remember that guy.
And he came over and he set all of the ranges, and he got it dialed in for the way Ken uses the drone. And what was fascinating was the very first time that Ken went out and flew that drone with the new settings. And he called me like right afterwards, and he's like, you would not believe how much more fun this was when you don't have to fight the drone to fly it, when it flies the way you want it to fly. And it was all dialed in, and he said, I could feel it. It was smooth. It was fast. I did so much better. And he was really excited about it. And that was the day that I think Ken went all in on FPV. That's when he started getting the better drones, and the one that he got from Rotor Riot is the one that has impressed him the most, because he's slammed that thing into I don't know how many different things. And every single time he will call me and he's like, I crashed the Rotor Riot drone. And I'm like, man, I'm sorry to hear that. And he'll be all dejected, and he always Skypes you. He never just calls you on the phone. He always Skypes you. And then he'll slowly raise the drone up, and he's like, but it's all completely wrong. It's all completely fine, So that he's never even nicked or scratched that drone. It's amazing. So
awesome.
How you doing, Jeff?
Not too bad, sir. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, buddy.
What do you fly?
I was just literally flying my DJI FPV drone, and I was trying to change the battery, and I dropped the sucker from 6 feet, tumbling down my stairs. So one prop is messed up, and then
Uh-oh.
one of the little LED lights cover that just on the front leg came off. So I popped that thing back in there, changed the prop, took it for a flight. Perfect.
Yeah,
But
I mean
that was a stupid mistake because I actually bought. I'm the type that I like to buy a whole bunch of different accessories for my drone. So I bought this stupid landing gear. I mean, it works pretty good, but I try to take that off because I needed to plug in the battery to the back of the drone. And I don't even know what the heck I was thinking, but I put it the wrong way and again dropped it, but it's good. See the little white piece
yes.
in the front leg? Yeah, one of those came off and my daughter found it. So I popped it back in. Flu-borne battery, perfect. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I think the one thing about the DJI FPV drones, I remember the first thing that kind of made me really question what they were thinking when they made the drone initially was you land on the battery. And I was like, there's just something in the technician head of me, right, that is thinking that this would probably not be something that I would want to do is land on my battery.
Correct.
And I know that the first time Ken took his out, he landed hard on the battery and had problems with his drone. But I since did some research to try to figure out what you were actually supposed to do. And there's the I guess the best way of doing it is using the auto land feature,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
where it lands itself and it will land it softly enough that it doesn't damage the battery.
Yes, sir. I'm like you, Jeff. I do believe that is a pretty crappy design. You know, I was hoping that it will actually be a little different. When I first seen the video the very first time, I was like, well, how the heck do you land this damn thing? Because I only see the front landing legs. What about the back? Then it took me a while. That's when I seen the little itty bitty stubbies on the back. But with that landing gear, it kind of gives you that little, I guess, kind of helicopter landing gear, type of feeling. And it works perfect. I mean, I love it.
The thing that will always sit with me is the first time that I saw high speed footage taken from a DJI FPV drone. I was thoroughly blown away. I'd never in my life thought I would ever see a DJI drone fly that fast. But two, that it was just so crisp. The video was so well done. It looked so clean. I really loved it. And so that was the only thing that ever really, I guess, wanted me to fly FPV was flying that particular drone, because I felt that with my experience with DJI and my understanding of the mindset behind how they design their stuff, that I would have a better shot at being able to fly, I guess, fast and cinematic with that drone.
I mean,
but
the drone is pretty nice, Jeff. I mean, besides, I flew an analog FPV drone before, and I'll be honest with you, all the video cutting up and all the glare and all that crappy, look like 1908 type of video, look when they're all choppy and stuff. I can't handle it. I think it's just crappy. So the first time I actually flew it was on the drone meter that we actually had, Art.
Right.
Lon is the one that Lon Dinar let me fly his the first time. And after that, I said, I got to have one. So I got it,
Well, hopefully it's, I mean, when they came out, the first thing I knew when I saw them was there's going to be a lot of people that crash this drone, and hopefully I'll have somebody that I know that crashes the drone and I can get the carcass, and just rebuild it. But unfortunately, everybody had DJI care because they knew they were going to crash the drones anyway. And so I never got that opportunity, unfortunately, to fix one, because I would have taken a crashed FPV drone, one of the DJI FPV drones, and made a project out of that in a heartbeat. I would have loved that.
Get your brother. Yeah, get your brother. Get your brother. Go find him. This is not such a big house. Sorry about that. I'm actually cooking dinner.
Are you kidding me? I'm sitting here trying to convince my kids to stop walking past the door singing show tunes. Okay, so come on. I know full well what you're going through. I can't convince either one of them to stop walking back and forth across the doorway to my office going, nee, 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 nee. So,
yeah. So that first time before I actually got it, I remember seeing your buddy Ken Herron flying his. He was not very impressed. He was actually pretty pissed.
Yeah. I mean, the first time that he got it, he liked it the first time that he saw it. He was like, this is different. This is weird. He liked the goggles. He liked the video, the clarity of the video from it. It was when he got out and he started flying it, and he had problems with the controller where, he had been flying FPV with, a regular FPV controller, and he would shift his hands and it would turn off something, or it would change the mode of the drone, and he wouldn't know it. It wouldn't give him an alert. And he just got real frustrated with it.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was part of Ken that really wanted to see that drone come up and shine. Right. It just didn't work for him, and I don't fault anything that he said about that drone. I mean, it does have some flaws, and I would hope that if they ever make a DJI FPV2, which obviously will probably come down the pike, that they learn from what they did with the first one. But I mean, look at the original Phantom 2 Visions, right? What did they learn from all of the frustration they had with the Phantom 2 Visions? Having the GPS in the remote and not in the drone, and having all this other, I guess, stuff that should have been incorporated in the drone. They learned from it. The Phantom 3 came out. It was a little bit better than the Phantom 3 Advanced, the Phantom 3, Professional. And then they finally took that step forward into the Phantom 4 series and nailed it.
Yep.
Get those
packs. That's where they came up with the Light Bridge, which was better than the previous version.
Yeah, and then Oculus came in with the Mavics and pretty much blew Light Bridge out of the water. And then, of course, Oculus 2, which just I think became sort of a staple. You can't have clarity of signal over distances, and with things in between you and the drone. With any of the other systems, Oculus was something that would allow you to be able to fly behind objects and not lose or get degradation in the signal that you were getting. And that more than anything else, I think, is what put DJI ahead of just about everybody else. I mean,
yeah, how
many people were taking Oculus systems out of DJI drones and sticking them in RC cars or putting them in RC controlled planes. I mean, they were taking Oculus systems and wheeling them into other devices because it was that good,
Right.
And I was fascinated with how much it took off.
That's what I liked about the Mavic Air 2, because the signal, you never lost signal with the original Mavic that had Wi-Fi connection. I get up a few feet and it'd say lost connections. Once I got a little higher, then I was fine. But yeah, flying around buildings or trees like pine trees, boy, you'll lose signal. Yeah.
When you say Wi-Fi, Art, I remember when I got my first one, which was the Mavic Air 1.
Yep.
I took it outside, and when you plug it into the remote with your phone, it plugs in from the side.
Right.
You also have another type of plug that you could buy that is USB, and then you plug it to your phone. So the one from the side, the very first day after I did all the updates, calibration, all that good stuff, I take it outside. I take it up probably not even 25 feet. Next thing you know, it loses connection, then it goes up. I'm freaking out because I don't even know what the heck is it doing, but with the settings, it's already automatically set up that if you lose connection, it will go up to the, I guess, to the right RTH height, and then it
Oh
will
yeah, return to home. Yeah.
I didn't know that. So I'm actually jumping. I'm literally about to climb the house, trying to get it down. Finally, after hitting the stick down, it started responding just a little bit. Finally, I climbed my truck, and I just jumped and just grabbed it out of the air. You know what I mean? 'Cause I thought I was gonna lose it. I didn't know what the heck was happening. My very first time. That was 3 years ago. Then my brother told me, "No, it's stupid. If you were to leave it alone, it will actually come back by itself." Hell, you didn't tell me that. I thought I was about to lose the damn thing. That was $700, just for that one little drone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had gone out to my uncle's house and flew his Phantom 2 that he had, and fell in love with it. And I wanted to get into drones, and did a bunch of research to try to find something to work with. And I knew that I was going to take some time to save up. And I went to a local hobby shop, and what was it? The ominous FPV was this little drone. I still have it in the box over there, which is a little Wi-Fi drone. And I remember the salesman. He was good. Man, he was slick. He's like, yes, this drone will do everything you want it to do straight out of the box. And I'm like, really? And he goes, yeah. And he pulls the box and he opens it up. He pulls the drone out, sticks the battery in it, puts a couple of batteries in the remote, walks out into the parking lot, puts the drone on the ground, and bing, flies it across the parking lot, zips it around all the cars, brings it around, flies it, lands it on his hand, hands it back to me. And he goes, see, easy as pie. And I was like, sure, here's my money, just get it right there. And oh yeah, just got home, walked into the house. My wife's like, what's that? I was like, it's a drone. What are you going to do with it? I'm like, I'm going to go outside and fly it like I saw the guy at the store. And I walked out in the front yard and I put it on the ground and I put the batteries in the remote and I flipped it on and I flew it right into a bush. And at that point in time, I realized that GPS and vision sensors are very important to drones. So yeah. And the Phantom 4, I remember sitting out in the front yard the very first time that the Heron Bird flew after I got it running, and I had spent I think an hour inside with the application tuning all of the different cameras around the drone that it uses for its vision sensors. And you had the big pattern on your screen. You had to sit there and hold the drone up like a dork and, get it all lined up, etc. Yeah. And so I'm sitting out in the front yard and I got the drone hovering in front of me. And I know for a fact that my neighbors across the street were probably sitting in their den, laughing and rolling around on the floor as I stood out into the front yard, putting my hands up to the drone and making it back away from me as I just had fun with the vision sensors. I was just overjoyed messing around with that drone, trying to get it to fly into things. I'd fly it at me. I would fly it at the car. I would fly it at a bush and it would stop. And I would be like, I just, yeah, no more ominous FPV drones.
That's one thing that I love about drones. It just, the fact that you're able to just fly it and just have a good old time with it. Like earlier, I just literally got a new battery for the Mavic Air 2. Now I got
Let's
5.
welcome all the way from Silver City, New Mexico, the one and only, the master of disaster. Let's welcome Doc Murdoch.
I think you're the master of disaster there, Art.
Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, guys.
If it wasn't for Doc, the Heron Bird wouldn't have anything to protect it. He was the one that provided us that orange case.
Mm-hmm.
So, which we love to death.
Absolutely. Them things are just awesome.
And his wife has the unfortunate knowledge of being the first person to buy one of those god-awful T-shirts. With me.
That is her prized possession.
Hey, Chris, do you have something beeping?
Yes, I do. It's unfortunate. I'm trying to download some of the footage off of my Excalibur, and it don't like it. It beeps the whole time I'm doing it.
Oh, gee.
I'm trying. It's been going for like 10 minutes already, trying to get it off the SD card in the machine.
See, and here I was gonna feel bad about having my work computers and stuff running in the background, but no, you had to come out and do me with the beeping drone. Got it.
Yep.
Hey guys, could we just hold on a minute?
That's the poor thing.
It's that time in the show. It is time for Toffee Giveaway!
Oh, there you go. Got to have the toffee giveaway.
So pick a number between 1 and 50, and I will spin the wheel, and we will get a winner.
42.
38.
This awesome
42
almond toffee. Put your number in the chat.
Oh, we got to do it in the chat. Okay.
I got 38.
Hey, Chris.
Adrian, you got to put it in the chat so we know you're not cheating.
It's already there.
Okay.
So do me a favor, Doc Murdoch. I got 38. Back off.
Oh, no. 42. It's the number of what was that in the movie?
It's the number of life, the universe, and everything.
There you go. Yep, that's it. Number 42. Yep.
Okay, Big Water UAV has picked that.
It's always
all right,
fun.
we'll give it a minute, and then we will spin the wheel, and alrighty, and hopefully later on in the show, James from My PI Dream will join us.
Yeah,
and have a rocking good time.
Yeah, I've been. Do we got a winner yet?
No, let's go ahead and I will share the screen.
Got one more video that's saying action interrupted.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Stop your numbers. Stop your picking. It is time to spin the wheel.
Oh, do you have the screaming goat? Well, I hear it.
Oh, son of a gun.
The winner is number 42.
There it
What am I
is.
telling you? What?
That's it.
Yes.
It's the number of life and everything.
Hey,
You're completely and totally vindicated at this point.
There it is.
Hey, all right, wait a minute. That was some flim-flam. You need to spin that wheel.
No.
again.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is absolute truth. I'm telling
That's
you
right.
right now.
That's
It is a
right.
book that will save your life.
Jeff, how the heck did you know it was going to be 42?
Dude, do you
everything.
not have your towel? You need to have your towel. And
Yeah,
your
wait a minute. Where's my towel? Oh, it's hanging up on the door.
you gotta have your towel. So
Congratulations, Big Water UAV. Please send me your address, and I will ship that out to you.
Yep.
Tomorrow at the earliest. So
and if
That
there's
is so
anybody, if there's anybody in the audience that doesn't understand what we're talking about,
You got to go
online-
watch the movie.
Look online for a movie called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you will find the reference to 42 in there to be
Yep.
quite humorous.
Yes. It is a great movie for humor, without a
yeah,
doubt.
I'll have to check that out one of these days. What's the name of that drink they talk about? The something gargle blaster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster.
Pan-Galactic. That's
Yeah.
right.
feels
I-
like you're.
I
having
heard
your head-
about that on there's a conservative talk show here in Denver, and the host was talking about Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy, and he
Yep.
talked about the Pan-Galactic Garble Blaster.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's a drink that when you drink it, it feels like you're having your head slammed into it with a brick multiple times or something like that.
Yeah.
It's absolutely painful drink. And in the movie, they're sitting there and they have the glasses and they toast each other, and they take a sip, and it's like, oh God!
Funny part is, there's a few real drinks that'll do that to you too.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
hmm
I've met 3 of them. So
You've met 3 of them, okay?
yeah,
By the way, Jeff, on Thursday on Ken Herron, man, you do an excellent job with the drone news.
Absolutely, he is.
Yeah,
the
that's
drone
right.
news God.
Well, there's one thing that I would love for you to do, though. You gotta let Ken Herron do that bird dance on you. That's my favorite. Hey, Doug Murder. Anytime he does that, all I see Jeffy go like, "Oh crap, here we go."
Yeah, I know it.
Wow.
yeah. I have to say, I was really frustrated with it for a while, and then when he decided to one up himself and actually get the girl.
Oh,
yeah.
Doris.
Haley.
Oh my lord.
Then I knew at that point that it was never going to go away. It
Nope.
would be a part of my life that because what was really sad was I really liked that song when I was growing up as a kid. I'd watch all the Vietnam movies. They always had that playing in the background. And you're like, oh wow, that's really cool music, And I had the cassette tape of the Birds, and I'd sit there and listen to the song and loved it. And Ken just kind of snapped that puppy flat.
Yeah.
Well, here's how you can get back at him, Jeff. You need to play the video going to the park and poison the pigeons in the park.
Oh, yes. Poisoning Pigeons in the Park. Great song.
Yeah. I heard about that yesterday on that same show. And so what I did was I went on YouTube, and there it is. And that guy, he did the Element song as well.
Yeah, the Dr. Demento was a radio
Oh
show
man.
today that would play all these weird songs, and they had Weird Al at Yankovic got his start there.
Yes.
And they would do all these parody songs, etc. And there was Dead Puppies, Fish Heads.
Yep. Those
all-
are the 2 classics. Yes.
Oh yeah, great songs. And the one that I remember that stuck in my head was Poisoning Pigeons in the Park, the Masochist Tango,
Yep.
right? And then the one where he did the Wizard of Oz story. God, I can't remember the title of it. Yep, it's gonna elude me now. But but yeah, there's just so many great stuff that came.
I think
out
that's the Garble Blaster catching up to you.
No, that's me being 50-something plus years old and suddenly realizing that I don't remember everything. So yeah.
Squirrel.
Yep. Squirrel? Oh no. It's more like a badger, kind of trawling by.
All right. Well, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure at some point in time my boss is going to get on the internet, and hopefully he doesn't see me doing this. So I'm going to step away now. But I have had a lot of
thanks
fun
for
chatting
coming
with
in,
you guys.
Jeff.
You bet.
And Doc,
Yes.
sir, keep up the great work. Hopefully you can help Art out with his drone.
Oh yes.
solution. So
Yes. It's probably, the fried board, it cracked it, when it hit. So it came down from about 80 to 100 feet straight down with the motors not spinning.
That's far. Ooh, ow.
And it landed flat.
And that's
I
that's
mean-
the interesting thing I have to admit. And this is the reason why every single time somebody really kind of grills me about becoming an FPV pilot,
Yeah.
I just point out little things like this and just say, my drone doesn't do that.
That's not true.
No, the drones I have done it in the past, but
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys have a fabulous evening. Thank
You have a
very
great
much.
night, Jeff.
Take
Take care
care,
all.
Jeff.
It was great meeting you, Jeff. Have a good evening, sir.
Good meeting you too. Take care.
Oh, and those
boy.
in the chat, his channel is JAS
Aerials.
Aerials, I believe. Yeah, that's the
AER.
name of his channel.
Yep.
Yeah. So go check it out. Subscribe and watch him every week on the Ken Herron Show.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, he
Yep.
is the king of the news. Without a doubt.
So look at what came in the mail. Now I've got the correct tools.
Tools, yes.
Yeah. And I also bought some new batteries for the Tiny Hawk.
Excellent, excellent.
Is that like a little repair kit? Set of screw for the screws.
Yeah, it's the 4 sizes of Allen drivers you need to take apart just about everything.
Okay.
It'll do the little camera ones on the side. It'll do the little tiny screws for like for one like this that's got the little teeny tiny screws for the motors.
Yep.
It'll do these, and then it'll do the 5-inch and 7-inch. It'll do all the stuff. So, the only other thing you need for the bigger motors is a 5mm wrench, or a prop nut or prop driver or whatever you want to use. So, Art, did that come with the prop socket or no?
No,
or is it just the 4 Allens?
This is it.
Just
I'll
the 4
probably
Allens.
order one of those prop sockets. Yeah. I also just ordered the little sand offs. Those little.
Okay. Yep.
Yep.
The
These little
pieces
guys right here.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah. Just ordered a what is it? It's like what the heck did I do? Okay.
Yeah, you push buttons. It's okay.
Yep.
We're all still here. I think we're all still here.
Yeah, it comes in a little kit, so it's got all the different sizes with the screws and the washers and all that neat stuff. So I got that off of Race Day Quads.
Okay.
And that should be here early this coming week. So
excellent.
Hopefully, I can plug the battery in and it'll make a beep. But plug in the
it gives the first flight. Yeah, it just gives the first set of tones, but not the ESC tones. Right. Yeah. Yeah, probably
in the beta flight somewhere. And it won't connect.
It won't connect. Oh, really?
No.
Okay. Yep. All right. So something in there really got nailed when it hit. Yeah. It was spectacular, Art. I mean, you had it. It was up there well above the lights and everything. And when you said, I think I'm just going to disarm it, I was trying to tell you not to. And when you did, it started to come down. And I says, I tried to tell you, Art, rearm it, and you didn't rearm it because it would have brought it down lower. You would have armed it and give it some power and it would have, arrested the fall. But it did come down straight. So it didn't come down on its side or nose or back. It literally just free fell just flat until it hit flat. So
wow.
And it was just the impact that does that. I've had one do that, but upside down.
Oh.
So which was my fault. I forgot to pull the throttle down when I flipped upside down.
Well, I want to say hello to Steve, Mika Steve. Good to see you.
Hey, Steve.
And JSK Enterprise. Welcome to the show.
Hey, guys.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, the one FPV move that everybody talks about that you only try real high the first time is the inverted yaw spin of death.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they call it that for a reason, because if you flip upside down and do a yaw spin and forget to pull the throttle down, you will drive that quad straight into the ground.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I know that from experience. I broke a top plate, a bottom plate, and delaminated 2 motor arms.
Oh, man.
I got Dagmar, are you more of a GPS or FPV?
I'm more FPV, but I can fly the GPS. So,
I would have never known that. I could have strictly GPS only.
Yeah. Well, actually, my main 5-inch up here. This is my Stingy V2. If you notice, the back has the spot for the GPS module.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully, between now and spin up, I will have this one set up on iNav, and this will act just like a Mavic Mini.
Really?
Oh.
Yep. It will have return to home, position hold, altitude home, all of that.
Nice.
And still fly FPV.
And still fly FPV. Okay. How you doing, Bob Casey? How you doing, buddy?
Bob Casey. Hello.
Oh, there he is. He just popped in.
Yeah, hopefully Ken will. pop in and kind of give us an update on how Spin Up went. So we'll see. But yeah, worst comes to worst, and I need a new board, and you know, I just might need your expertise on what kind of board I should get.
Well, what we'll do is I'll have you take the top off of it and move everything out of the way, and let's see what board's in there.
Okay.
And we can just order the exact same board. Because the reason why the ESC is not giving the tones is because the flight controller is not giving the tones. It's not talking to it. Since you said when you plugged it into Betaflight, it doesn't recognize, that means the flight controller's gone. Now, so we'd start there.
Now, Doug Murdoch, now since you are the king of FPV, then
I'm kind of a prince, but you know.
I need
or Archduke.
Yeah, more like a court jester sometimes, but you know.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. That same 5-inch that you have in the background.
Yes.
About how much do you think you'll be able to get one ready for me, ready to fly, all the updates, GPS, like you say you're gonna have it.
Just like I'm setting this one up?
Yeah, like still fly FPV, but still do the whole return to home, GPS, all that good stuff. About how much do you think it will run for you to build one for me and get it ready?
Like roughly about $300, roughly.
Okay.
Because I don't spend, you know, a lot of guys go crazy on the motors and ESCs and all kinds of other stuff, and you just don't have to. I mean, the motor set on this quad that I fly regularly was $30 for all 4 motors.
Oh, cool.
I mean, I just don't spend a lot of money on these things, you know.
Okay.
The ESCs were the same way. They were like $37 for all 4 ESCs. You know, the flight controller was about the same price. I do run Crossfire, so you know the Crossfire receivers. What is it, about $30 now? You know, for the Crossfire, and then depending on how powerful of a VTX transmitter you want, you know, you're going to spend anywhere from $20 to $40. You know, and cameras, you know, same thing. You're going to spend anywhere from $20 to $40, $50 for a good camera, and that's it. I mean, that's really it.
Oh, you need a transmitter.
Yeah, now that is something. Adrian, do you have a transmitter, an FPV transmitter?
No, I do not. That's what I was saying.
So you need a whole setup. Okay. Well, see, now that brings up. Now you have the DJI goggles, though. Yes.
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. So what you would want to do then is you need a frame that is DJI FPV compatible, rather than the frame I have. Mine's not. Mine is strictly analog. So I'll look up and see which one. I think the Rotor Riot Ladrib's frame will do it. They have a CL1 HD that will do it. And I think there's a few more out there. So
yeah, I think Lloyd got one.
Yeah, I think Lloyd's got the CL1. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see if I can stop this beeping here real quick. A double check. Yep. Okay, it's done. I can make it be quiet.
There you go. Now. I thought it was saying, okay, once it stops, that's when the bomb is armed.
Yeah, I know, huh? That's when it goes off, right?
Yeah.
There it goes. Okay. Shh.
Cut the red wire.
All right. Yeah. Now, pinkish, you know.
Hey, I want to say hello to Steve Carpenter. Good to see you, Steve.
In here.
And Bill
howdy,
from
Steve.
Coast to Coast Drones.
Yep. It's got everybody.
Yeah.
And Fly Zone's here. Ooh.
Yep.
All right.
Starting to build a...
All right, Adrian, you need to decide what type of transmitter you want to use. You've got basically 3 main choices, okay? You've got the Tyrannus directly, all right? So you can get an X9D, you can get an X9, what is it, the X Lite, X9D Lite, or whatever it is, which is the newer access protocols. I don't recommend that one personally, just because of what they did with all of that. I think you're better off buying an older X9D if you want the full-size transmitter, Okay. You then have the X Lite, which is what Art has. The X Lite, you can get the adapter on the back to put a full-size crossfire module on it. Okay. So that's an option. There's also the FlySky Nirvana. You can get those off of Amazon for a little less than $200, and it's bigger than the X Lite. It feels like you got a honking radio in your hand. It's got switches galore on it, and it will do everything. The only catch is, to do anything other than FlySky, you have to put a module on the back, and it has the rails and everything to do that. You just have to buy the modules separate. Okay. Same thing if you do an X9D and you want to run Crossfire, you have to buy the module separate. So those are your choices, really, besides your standard box radios, which is like the Radio Master and what's the other one? Jumper. So now if you want to go with just a small, like game controller style, you can get the one that's put out by Team Black Sheep that is just Crossfire only.
Okay.
So that's an option also. But you do sacrifice range because it only puts out 250 milliwatts, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Now, when it comes to the remote, let me put it this way, Doc Mark. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that you and I exchanged phone numbers. I believe you have my number, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so I'll tell you what, I will, if you could do me a favor, since you know pretty much, I don't know nothing about what those type of drones that you have. I don't know how to solder. I don't know how to do nothing. I know how to buy the drone that's already ready to go. I don't need to do anything but just charge the battery.
Okay, so the question is, do you want to buy one that's just ready to go? Because, see, this is where it gets tricky. When you buy one that's ready to go with the HD already in it, with the DJI stuff, it already comes pre-flashed with Betaflight. It's already been tuned and everything with Betaflight. But to make it work with the GPS with iNav and make it work like a camera drone, to have that option, you have to go in and reflash it. It has to have the right kind of flight controller. So iNav only works on a certain list of flight controllers perfectly. It works on a few others, but you're shooting craps when you do that because you're not sure which ones will work until you actually try it. So that's the catch. So in this case, to do what I'm describing, what I'm going to do, you're better off building it out of components and just build it. Okay. So that's kind of where that's at.
Okay.
Now, if you want to go without the GPS stuff and just fly normal FPV, then you can buy one pre-ready, pre-flight tested, the whole thing with HD already in it, and literally just pull it out of the box, bind it to your radio, and bind it to your goggles, and go.
Okay.
So that's the options you got to weigh out.
There you go.
That's it. Mm-hmm. Those are the choices. So, I mean, if you just want to get started in FPV, there are some 3-inch versions. Sean Oz and I were talking about that he is most interested in the 3-inch size for his use case for FPV. He surprised me when I brought that drone up to him, and when I bound it to his radio and got it all set up, and we took it out and test flew it that next morning, he took off like a pro. I'm telling you what, he took off like an absolute pro with a 5-inch. Flew that thing around and put it down right where he wanted it. And I was just like, I was amazed and absolutely proud of him for that. But he's looking at a little smaller of a quad because his use case is more for close in, more cinematic flying, not a lot of the flippy floppy stuff. He wants to get those tighter shots you can't get with a 5-inch because the quad's too big. So, and he's got the DJI system already. So he's looking at the 3-inch versions that have DJI built into them. Okay. Emax has one. Rotor Riot has, or not Rotor Riot, Catalyst Machine Works has one. So it's all in what you want to do. If you want to just get started, spend a little less money on the machine, already pre-built, ready to go, then that might be the way to go because the batteries are smaller, they're lighter, the whole quad's lighter. You know, so it's less apt to get broke as much if you crash.
Okay.
And it's just due to the weight. So, but you can still fly it full HD.
Okay.
So,
Ooh, James has dengue fever, sounds like.
dengue fever.
Ooh.
Where the
Yeah,
heck would
he
he get
lives in the
dengue
Philippines.
fever? Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, how in the world do you get that?
Yep.
Oh
Yep.
my goodness.
You know,
is-
he's been stranded in the Philippines for 2
Yes.
years so far.
Yeah, because all this craziness.
Yep,
So
that's right. Well, go take your pills and rest and get better for next week. Next week is the big giveaway for the High Lucky solar powered battery charger.
I was actually looking at those today because my battery thingy, the case has just fallen apart on it. Of course, I've had it like 4 years, but yeah. So it's going to get cannibalized because it has all lithium-ion batteries in it. It's got, I think, 7 cells in it. I'm going to cannibalize 6 of them out of it and turn them into 3 sets of FPV goggle batteries.
There you go.
Because that's what you need for the Fat Sharks is two cell. So
I found out about this from Spin Up 2 years ago when Steve Carpenter had one, because my phone at that time, I had an older phone and it was just about out of juice, and he goes, "Oh, here, take this and
plug this in." Yep.
Wow.
Picked up very quick.
Oh, speaking of Spin Up, got my ticket.
Got mine. Got both mine today.
Yep.
So sat down, got them all taken up.
Congrats.
I got my plane ticket, my hotel, and my Spin Up ticket, so I'm
awesome,
ready to go.
Mama's going to be looking into the hotels this week, so we're probably going to stay at the Motel 6 over in New Braunfels. And the reason for that is every time we've tried to get hotel rooms like in Austin or San Antonio, there has been some weird ass thing going on somewhere in the city, and all the motel rooms have been taken up. But yet I
had no problem.
And it's like they're right in the middle. So
I got Best Western.
Okay.
It's only a mile and a half away.
Okay. Well, we're going to go back to that one because every time we've gone there, they have always had rooms. They're always a decent price. They're right in between Austin and San Antonio. So it's only like about a 30-minute drive over to wherever anything is. So it's like, I'm okay with that. I don't care about the driving part. So that don't bother me a single little bit. So.
Great. It'll be great to see you.
Do what, Adrian?
I hope you guys have a great time. I won't be able to make it.
Oh, you're not going to make it?
No, sir.
Oh, man. Well, we'll make sure we get plenty of video for you.
Yes, please do that.
We'll make you drool, you know. We'll make you just salivate that you missed it again.
Well, Adrian will be at the Florida meetup next April.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
yes, God willing, I will be there. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, well, you're local to that, though, right, Adrian?
Not really, because it's still kind of far, but I'll be able to drive over there.
Yeah, but what's your idea of kind of far?
Well, it's about 3 hours from me, so that's pretty far.
Nah. I used to drive 2.5 hours each way to work.
But see, the reason why I say that is that I drive for a living, and I really get tired of driving every single day.
Well, I did too, and I would drive as much as 5 hours a day after working 8, 10, 12 hours. And that's just what I had to do with the industry that I was in.
Yeah, I mean, when you're working, you got to do what you got to do.
That's it, man. 37 years we're building freeways. So.
Holy shnikes.
Yep. So, yeah, that's all just part of the fun and games. So to me, 3 hours is like, yeah, it's nothing.
Nothing, right?
Yeah, that's just going to Tucson, go pick something up at AutoZone. You know?
Actually, when you first came to the drone meetup, I didn't know that you actually flew so far just to come over here to the
Yeah.
meet or drove. I didn't even know that. I thought
Yeah.
you were local to Florida. That's what
Oh
I
no! I drove all the way from New Mexico. Yep.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Took me 2 nights. I would have been there in. Let's see, because when I left, I stayed in Houston the first night. Got in there late. Got up early. Left Houston about 5:30 in the morning, and made it into Tallahassee. And like within about an hour's drive of Tallahassee, I got just a splitting headache for no reason. And it was like, you know what? It's only like an hour and a half down to Spring Hill. So I'll just get a room up here tonight instead of down there.
That's right.
So that's what I did. I just got a room, went and got some aspirins, ate, went to bed early, got some sleep. Headache went away in the morning, left out at about 5 o'clock in the morning, headed on down to Spring Hill, got down there and got something to eat close by, went over to DroneWorks and picked up the Autel Evo first thing. So, and
Bill wants to know what town you're in, Adrian.
What was that? Oh,
Bill Ronayne wants to know what town you're in.
Gainesville.
Gainesville, okay. All right. Now, speaking of driving, today I went down to the new location where I'm going to be working in October. And so I'm going to share the picture of our new building. Yes, there it is. It's the EKD warehouse. So
now, how far is that from your place now?
It is 2.8 miles away.
Oh, goodness.
So
you could almost
it's
walk
a little
there.
bit further south.
Okay.
Now, I'll show you a picture of what our current building looks like. Nope, that's not it. That's
No,
not
but
it.
that looks good.
Yeah, well, I've got leftovers right after this show. I'm going to be.
Oh, baby.
Okay, let's. There we go. This building here, back in the 60s, was a motel. And this is the motel that all the rock stars would stay when they were playing in Denver. Bob Dylan recorded some songs in this motel. This is the DeVille Motel. Now it's our executive building.
Oh, wow.
So we've got conference rooms and offices in there. So they completely redid it. And on the other side, the back side, that's where I work in one of the manufacturing buildings.
Okay.
And if you go down this road, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but across the street is where the company got its start in 1933
Oh, wow.
by Dr. Archie Bruce.
Shoot. You're just going to be
Yep.
all set there only 2.5 miles from home.
Yep. No, I live about, now it'll be, well, it's 25 minutes away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's still not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. So, hopefully the move won't take too long, so I won't be out of work for too long a time.
Yeah.
Right now, they're already starting to tear down some of the equipment, and they got one of those big pods out in the parking lot, so they're getting ready to move some of the machinery into that, and then send that over to the new building.
Well, that'll work. As soon as they get your wonderful tooling all over there, you'll be all set and back to work, huh?
Well, the stuff that I work on, it's a little tiny, it's a spot welder.
Right.
And it's about the size of a bread box. And it sits on a table and it's pedal powered, so I hold on to parts with the tweezer and my other hand and stick in, press down.
Make sure you don't stick your tongue in the light socket at the same time and get a little zap.
Oh, I get some zaps because sometimes it'll spit out a hot piece of metal. And when that goes down the front of your shirt, boy, that's a new kind of excitement.
Just a smidge, huh?
You know that you should have just kept that to yourself. Let him just keep zapping himself. Oh, that would be hilarious.
Well, I tell you, I've got enough of that because I've got some shirts that I used when I was building my big hauling trailer. And it's just the whole front is just speckled with holes from all the slag falling on me while I was doing the overhead welding.
I've got some shirts like that. Little teeny pinhole holes all over the front. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Wait till you get to running an 1/8 inch rod overhead, and having all the slag fall on you. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
That's no fun.
When that gets down the front of your shirt, and boy,
yeah. Yep. Without a
you
doubt.
got that smell of burnt hair.
Usually it's burnt cotton, but yeah. Hey, Dre, Recovery Drone. Recovery One Drones. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Dre. And Scott Nadeau.
Yeah, you see what he says? That's where Willy Wonka moved his operation to. Put it up there in Denver and hide it in the snow. Yeah, there you go. 440 volt, 400 amp spot welder. Yes, that'll work.
So I got a question for you, Doc Murdoch.
What's up?
With what we were talking about earlier, so do you think with approximately 600 will actually do with everything? Remote, everything ready to go. I'm talking about everything, including the remote, everything. About 6, maybe
depends
7.
on which quad you choose. Yeah, depends on which setup.
I would say about a 5-inch, something like the one you have.
Okay, so you want to go 5-inch then? Okay.
Yes.
So let me.
If you could just take your time and you just figure it out, and let me, I appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem. Yeah, like I said, the main thing is finding a frame that is acceptable to the DJI digital system. That's the most important part.
I don't want analog. I'll be honest with you. I
right.
don't.
Yeah, you want to do digital. Yeah, I got it. So let's see here.
You don't even have to do that right now because in
I was just looking at the frames real quick, that are available. Okay. Yeah, see, Catalyst doesn't have a 5-inch that they have in stock right now. And Emax, their Baby Hawk 2 is the 3-inch that's HD. And that one's actually pretty reasonable. It's like $339, for the quad. I mean, it's a hell of a deal for what it is.
Yeah.
So let me see. I wonder if they got, because the Baby Hawk is their main bigger one, and I don't think.
Oh, Rigor Mortis says Nazgul HD 5-inch.
Yeah, the Nazgul. That's another good HD 5-inch frame. Yep. Again, the catch is the flight controller. So I think overall, if we put one together out of parts, I think we can be better off dollar-wise and still get the same effect and get everything in it. So including the GPS. So because they have, let's see here. They got the HD one, which is basically the CL one that's a little bit longer than the CL one to accommodate the air unit in the back.
Okay.
So the catch is there enough room to put the GPS on the back?
Because when it comes to my DJI FPV drone, Doc Murdoch, anytime I put it on the on manual on full ArtCo, I mean, you still have. I can still flip it to GPS mode, sports,
right?
And I got ArtCo.
Yeah, because you still have the oh shit button on it.
You still got there you go.
Yeah, you got the oh shit button.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and Adrian needs that.
Exactly. So, in this case, you know what I mean? I need to be honest with you, yes, because I'm still new to it, art. So I'm not good at FPV. I'm still learning. So that old shit button really helped me out. However,
Yep.
I do want an actual true FPV so I can go ahead and at least
Okay.
take it up and just fly it until I get real comfortable. And then when I get used to it, then I could start doing all the crazy stuff like how I see these guys doing. But that will probably take me a couple of years later. But I just want to have the drone.
Yeah.
You know, I want to have a true FPV drone that I could just, you know what I mean, trick it out the way you guys be doing it.
Right. Okay. Like Rotor Riot has the HD one as a complete bind and fly with either Crossfire or FR Sky XM Plus. Let me see what. See, they've got it with the full air unit, which you don't actually need. You more want it with the Vista, but they don't set it up with the Vista. So, but if you got it with the full air unit, like if you had the DJI controller, you know, then the quad comes ready to go at like $600. So it's a little on the high end, but that's because it's the full air unit.
Okay.
So the Vista's cheaper. You know, the Vista unit's cheaper because it's, you know, it doesn't have all the extra stuff. But you can buy, let me find it here.
Steve Carpenter wants to know if can you get one with an onboard wine bar?
It can be built. Just depends on how big.
It can't be built. It just won't be a good idea.
Yeah. Well, as long as the pilot's not drinking it and it's the wine bar is up on the frame.
But it will be possible for me to have a bar on a drone and not take a sip. So
That's where you need a oh shit button.
That's right. That
it might
is
be an old F button.
Yes. Okay, so let's see. That's not what I'm looking for. I know it's here somewhere. HD1 parts. Okay, here we go. The HD1 frame from Rotor Riot is $45. Okay.
Ooh.
So just the frame by itself is $45. Figure the motors are going to cost you somewhere between $35 and $45.
Okay.
Rough guess. ESCs, if we set it up like the way I do mine with individual ESCs, which if you're just starting out and you're going to beat this thing, I would suggest going individual ESCs because if you blow one, you're not blowing all four. It's easier to replace just one. Okay.
There you go.
So you're going to spend between $30 and $40 for 4 ESCs. All right.
Yes, sir.
Flight controller, you're going to spend about $40 for because that'll be one that's compatible with iNav. All right. So then all you have to decide is what control system you're going to run. If you're going to run long range, then you're going to want to run Crossfire, which means you got to have a transmitter that either can take the module or has it built in. Okay, those are your two options, and the Crossfire receiver. Since you're going to run the Caddx Vista unit, the Vista unit is like $180 if you can get it. Okay, so like Rotor Riot doesn't have them in stock right now, but there is a few places that do. So that's all you need is the Vista. So that gives you your camera and gives you your VTX all in one. And you take your OSD from the flight controller, pumps it into the Vista. So that way you get your overlay. And then from there, you just have to do your GPS module, which if you do this with this frame, the HD antennas are designed to come out the back of the frame. So being that you've got an HD camera on the front already, so you don't need another HD camera recording because you're able to record it in your goggles as well. Mm-hmm. So where the GoPro would normally go, that's where you would put the GPS module. And so that way you've got everything on board to work the way you can get it to work with FPV and with position hold, altitude hold, and return to home, all on a switch.
Okay.
So that's pretty much how I'm going to do mine too. Mine's got it on the back because I run a GoPro on the front because I'm running analog. But effectively, that it will do the exact same thing. It's just the position of a few of the parts are different. So, but you can do that size. You can do, I think they even do a 7-inch size if you want to go 7-inch. So
That's what she said.
Baby.
Okay, Art, let's go ahead.
Those extra 2 inches.
Ooh, oh boy.
There's too many kids in here. Let's keep it PG rated.
The fun part is,
good
and this is fun because this 7-inch is almost as fast as my 5-inch, but this thing flies longer.
Okay.
And it's just as maneuverable.
Yep.
It's just set up differently.
He brought that up here to Denver.
Oh yeah.
When I flew with him last week, and I thought, wow, this is a cool drone.
Yeah, I didn't know it, but Art, he did the DVR of that one flying. So,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's a hell of a performer. So the only problem we had where we were flying with Art that day was we literally had a giant cell tower 1,000 feet away from us.
Yep.
And the panels were pointing right at us. So I had solid fuzz on my signal the whole time. And it was all from that cell tower.
I think that's what caused my crash. I just lost visual, and I knew it was behind me, and I didn't want to have a flyaway, and that's why I thought,
Yep. And that's the challenge, when you fly in the bigger cities. It just always is. And that is, honest to goodness, that is where the DJI digital really shines.
Right.
It really does. I mean, I can't argue that one tiny little bit for that.
All right,
but when I was up with Sean, though, we were up in the mountains. I was at 11,600 feet, and there ain't a tiny bit of flipping RF interference up there. And I've got a video of my 5-inch. I went and did a mountain dive that I went 1,000 feet above me and about 200 feet below me in a single dive. And just straight down, and never had a single blip until I got to the very top of the mountain because I was facing the opposite direction. All my antennas were facing away. So,
well, Art, thank you for having me, Doc.
Well, good to see you, Adrian. Thanks for coming in.
I'm about to go and eat a little bit of dinner and get ready for my show in a little bit. Doc Murdoch,
you bet.
Good day, buddy.
Adrian, we shall talk to you later.
Adrian.
All right. Thank you. Good night, fellas.
Have a good night. Yep.
Yeah, I just need to find a place that's away from the city that I could fly the 5-inch.
Yeah, you need to find some place a little bit out. Like when from where my daughter is. My daughter's down in Kiowa. It's east of Denver.
Yep,
Man, there is nothing but flipping farm fields out there.
Yep.
And even if you went to just one of the small towns like that and just found one of the, like they have the fairgrounds there. I don't know if it's open all the time or not, but go find you a football field that's at one of the little high schools out there in one of the little podunk towns, and you won't have any interference, and you can just fly, and you won't have any problems. So,
I have a friend that has a ranch down in southeast Colorado that I go to at least once a year. That would be a fun place to fly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
because you won't have no interference except for flying around the trees or buildings, on analog. So
now I brought my Mavic Air 2, but it was so freaking windy when I got down there, and that was back in late May. But the fishing was killer.
Yep.
I did.
Can always trade one for the other, right?
Straight fishing. Yeah.
Trade one for the other. That's the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I usually bring multiple size machines with me when I go places. Because if I'm at a spot where, maybe I can't fly the 5 or the 7-inch because it's just a little too tight or a little dizzy or whatever, I've always got the little guys. You know, I got that Beta 75 Pro. I've got the Tiny Hawk Freestyle. You know, I can play with those. I've got the Gep RC Cinepro. You know, if I just want to cruise around with that. So yeah, I've got those small ones. I am working on a few other ones. You know, like I've got Bob Rugi's baby or not baby tooth. It's oh, good night. The toothpick. I've got one of the original toothpick frame.
Right.
Okay, so I've got that one. I've got Rotor Riot's 5-inch ultralight frame, which is the one that uses the tinier motors with the bi-blade 5-inch. You know, that they literally got that 5-inch frame under 250 grams, all up weight.
Wow.
Now it was all analog. It wasn't HD. There was no, you know, no GoPro or nothing on it. But the whole 5-inch frame, battery and all, was under 250 grams. As soon as that video was up, I went and ordered one. So I've got the frame. So, and then I've also got the 533, which is basically the 3-inch analog to the DRL racer. So, you know, I've got that from Heads Up FPV. So I've got those to build. Plus, I've got this little tiny bugger. This little guy right here.
Oh, that looks cute.
Look at that.
Oh, boy.
Isn't that amazing? This was from flight test. This is the flight test. Oh, my God. The boar. This is the boar. And it's their little tiny, you know, quad that they came up with. And I've never flown it. You know, I've got the frame, I've got motors on it. These motors, these are the wrong motors for it. They're just too big. So I've got to get some smaller motors for it so I can run a smaller battery. These motors are more for a 3 or 4S. So this I want to do this light to keep it flying nice. So I want to go 2S. So I got to get some different motors. But these motors are perfect for the 3-inch. And I'm gonna do that with 3S. So they'll actually work with 2S also because they're 6,000 kV.
Okay.
8,000 kV is about ideal for 2S, depending on the prop size and pitch and all of that.
Right.
But for 6,000 kV, this will work absolutely wonderful on 3S, and it'll be an absolute ripping motor. So I've just got to get the right frame for it, and I was kind of debating what to get. I'm actually leaning towards the Catalyst Machine Works 3-inch massive droner. The thing is a little flippin' tank.
Now, Emacs came out with the NanoHawk.
Yes,
I just saw Kelly Shore's video on that. That looks like fun to fly.
Yes. Now that one, they've got, I think they got it both in the HD and the non-HD. Let me look real quick here. I actually have their tab open. Well, it's called the Baby Hawk 2. Now that's the HD one, and then they have, the Baby Hawk.
Well, the one that Kelly flew, that was the NanoHawk.
Was that one the NanoHawk?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back then. I don't think that was a 3-inch though, was it?
I don't think it is. I think it's more
that's a tiny one.
Yeah, tiny whoop.
Yeah, that's more of a tiny whoop style. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, see, I'm looking at the 3-inch size, like the way Sean was looking at. There's some real pluses to having something that's about a 3-inch, that's light, that can go anywhere, and that's a big plus sometimes. And because like there's times when I just want to go fly. You know, and I don't want to pack all my big stuff because when I go fly, you know, I always, the 7-inch goes, the 5-inch goes, you know, I've got like 10 pounds of batteries, you know, and I take it all with me because you need at least that much. Hang on.
All right.
Let me mute myself real quick. Hold on. Oops, wrong button. There we go.
There we go. I got mute. So, yeah, and one of the drones that I was thinking about was the Tiny Hawk Freestyle. One of the guys that I fly with every Sunday, they've got one. So, that'd be kind of cool. And so let me go. Alrighty, let me. There we go.
right.
You're unmuted.
Yeah, looks like I'm going to have to run. Yeah, that was a
I'm
call
about
out.
ready to close down this show and heat up some Kung Pao Triple Delight.
Oh, you got to say it right though. It's Kung Pao. You know, you got to get the accent. You know, you got to get that pow in there.
Yep.
All righty, Art. Well, everybody in the chat, good to have you. I'm glad I made it in before I got the call. So sometimes that's what happens when you're on call with the city. So,
well, thanks for popping in. That really helped me out.
You bet.
James is under the weather. Hopefully he should be back next week. So
yeah,
all right. Well, thanks for coming on, and you have a great rest of your weekend. And
any of you camera operators out there, come to the dockside.
There you go. There you go. I'll keep in touch when those parts come in, and then we'll
you bet
open this bad boy up, and
we'll see what's in.
Hopefully we can see what's going on. All right, take care, man.
All righty, bye guys.
All right, guys. Well, we made it almost 2 hours, so I want to thank you guys in the chat for coming in. Bill Ronayne and Dre and Michael and Steve and Rigor Mortis and Adrian and all the rest. Scott Nadeau, Renat Al, Mika Steve. Thanks for coming in. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. Take care, and don't forget about the giveaway next week. Tell your friends. Let's get a whole bunch of people down here. Take care, everybody. Have a great night. Bye-bye.